Attention! All things shared in this video are simply the opinions of the Unexplained Files. The following footage is not tampered with, and all of the events and reactions are unplanned and genuine.
Good evening everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Unexplained Files. We are joined for the first time by a very special guest, a friend to the channel, G-Star of the Underground Paradox, who we were lucky enough to join on a podcast a few months ago towards the end of last year, and now we managed to get out on an investigation. We've gone down to Wistman's Wood, Dartmoor, an ancient forest that supposedly has some creepy and paranormal stuff going on, and we wanted to see if we can find any for ourselves.
You know a bit more. What was some of the things seen here?
Well, the woods goes all the way back to, what a lot of people say Neolithic, really. But a lot of the legends, go back as far as the 1100s, around Saxon times. There's a route through this woods that used to be used as a burial route on ceremonial burials. So a lot of the sightings that have happened here have been figures that look like monks that are supposedly carrying the dead. But it's also really, really renowned for sightings of these black hounds with red eyes. That is a very, very common report from this area and across, I'd say, several hundred years. There's also a funny legend with this area that goes to pixies as well. Apparently it's got a very mystical quality to it, and it's known as like a place where pixies have existed and are responsible for the sort of dark magic that goes on here. That, and there's also been another dog sighting. There's a very famous ghost in this area of a dog that's called Jumbo. I don't know what type of dog it is, but yeah, apparently, and I don't know how they found out its name, Jumbo, but maybe it was somebody's, I think there's a story behind it that it was somebody's dog that got lost in this area and then, has been seen over the years.
Well, a very exciting and potentially scary evening, so I say we jump straight into it.
Alright, let's go. They've ditched me, guys. They're all the way over there.
We might have it coming down through here. Yeah, there we go, there's a path in it.
Whoa! There's some dodgy rocky bits here.
There was a sort of a walkway down that way, so I think it might just be best to try and stick to these paths because I don't trust these light ferns. But brace yourself for the staff of production.
Yeah.
Well, we need to find a spot really where we can go and place some things down, catballs and the likes.
Probably.
Is that a stream down there?
It looks.
Yeah, I think so.
I know there's one way further over there, but I'm not sure if this one closer is or not. Let's try and walk a bit further that way because it looks like there's one closer, but that might just be another stream, smaller stream. So there's some good rocks here that we could probably set some stuff down on that's not too deep into the woods.
Yeah, you've got the woods
Because we're right here, but it doesn't feel like we're going in and disturbing anything, which is good. I don't want to go too far into it. Look at that tree snapped and fallen.
If we all put our phones on aeroplane mode, I'll get the K2, see if it's not messed up with these rocks and that. Oh yeah, this would be
It's
cool.
a perfect spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're here on Dartmoor at Wistman.
Like when we first pulled up here, it felt creepy, and it's like now I feel alright.
I must admit, I didn't find it creepy. I want to make the best of it kind of thing. I like this space. I feel comfortable. Although the talk of pixies has got me on it. what that is. Sorry, it's not the word I wouldn't use.
So I'll get some toys. Do you want to hold him a sec? Yeah, I'll put my... I haven't done mine yet because I was using
I put mine in airplane mode. My second one that's dead is in my pocket, but as mentioned, is dead.
Do I want to put one a bit further back in?
Yeah, but I just chose it because it sort of felt right when I was
Yeah, I
walking
can
in,
put
but
like one here and
yeah,
then
absolutely.
right here.
We're all airplane loaded up. I mean, someone will still have an issue with it, but you know, we can do what we can.
Will you be able to see that if it goes off? No?
Yeah, I can see it with the night vision. I can't see it with Osmo though.
Be careful here.
Yeah, the ground is very uneven.
Yeah, we got arcade too. Should we stick him just here?
Yeah, can do.
I don't know if these rocks are going to affect it or not.
Yeah, because this thing notoriously doesn't last very long.
Something to point out as well, folks, if anyone comes here to Wistman's Woods, please respect the space. It's a very old, a very sacred place to many people, and a very protected place, so try your best not to just walk through and trash it. When we got out the car, I know obviously it's not on the woods, it wasn't quite on the moors yet, but there was some rubbish about on the floor. Please look after the space, and the space will look after you. And with that mini rant out of the way, let's jump into our investigation.
Let's investigate. Maybe I'll stand back a little without falling over.
Right, do you want me to call out, or do you want to call out?
Yeah, I don't mind. Do you want me?
Yeah, you can do.
I'll try and get G in the shot as well. So if there's anyone here in this space with us, can you please let us know by lighting up any of our devices for us?
Impressive that your EMF reader isn't going off with that rock.
It's broken.
So the one that I have, usually when I put it on granite, it just goes mad. Just remind me where are the cat balls?
So there's one just behind the EMF reader, and then on the rock right behind that, up there, just on the edge. Yeah.
We're just on the edge of the woods right here, because again, a lot of signs when you come in about not walking through the woods and being respectful and walking the perimeter, and we're trying to keep to that. And just giving the best respect.
If anybody is here, we want you to know that this is the time for communication. We open up this space and our devices for you to be able to communicate with us using those. If you come and stand near them, they will light up and indicate to us that you are here. You may be able to speak to us, but we might not hear you, but our devices might.
We can always try around that other side, not on the way out.
Yeah, definitely.
Just to
I
see.
mean, we can try this for a bit, and then we use the spirit talker like before, and then we'll use that on the way out. Like we can do the same that we did here. I must admit, I don't feel uncomfortable here.
No.
Like some places we've gone to, immediately it feels like
I
tense
felt-
being here.
I felt like that when we first turned up, when I saw how dark it was, wasn't it?
I surprisingly didn't. I was more just curious and ready to get here because the journey over was like, it wasn't long, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's not fun, I suppose.
But usually for something like this, I'd have nerves, but I don't, which is strange.
No, I feel like
If this was something like Chapel Hill Wood, and I'd be on edge, but right now, no, I'm fine.
Is there anyone here that wants to come and communicate with us? Please feel free to do so.
I think that was just a bird then. It's about not being on edge, right?
Strange, if it hadn't have taken us so long to get here from like our parked location, I'd have loved to have taken you guys to Susan's Forest. Because I'm feeling very much the same way as you are. Like,
Yeah.
even though this location is on my back door, I've never really investigated here, and having landed here, I'm not picking up on any vibes or anything. But Susan's Forest, which is just about another 5 minutes in the car from where we parked, that's a truly scary location. So I'd have loved to have taken you guys there, but it took us about 40 minutes to walk it, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a fair trek. Yeah.
Location. It is a bit out in the sticks, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I find it strange this being reported one of like the supposedly scariest places you can go to, and I feel.
But then
funny.
maybe people just say that because they feel freaked out when they're here, even if
Well,
they
yeah.
don't experience
Yeah.
anything.
I think like one of the things we haven't discussed is that like all the trees are absolutely covered in moss.
Yeah.
From head to toe, and that kind of gives the location definitely a very whimsical kind of mystical feel to it. And I actually think that would probably resonate more in the daylight than it would at night time.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people pass through this area, hikers, dog walkers, people like that, and you know, it's slap bang in the middle of the open Dartmoors, and then all of a sudden you've got this really dark, sort of very entangled wooded area that kind of has that vibe and feeling about it. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what causes a lot of the reports or legends.
True. Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I suppose, yeah, right now you can't really see anything, can you? So,
Yeah. This feels like one of those places where if someone walks past it with a friend on, like when they're walking and they go, you don't want to go there at night. Now we're sort of here and it's kind of all right.
Please do come along at night, it's fine.
Yeah. But then again, there is three of us, so that probably gives
Yeah.
another sense of security as well, which, you know, maybe in the wrong place at the wrong time you wouldn't feel it, but, and you know, it remains to be seen. Maybe at a different time, this place would have like more of a feeling of eeriness to it.
possibly so.
Right, what do we feel about the Spirit Talker then? Because none of these
Well,
devices
what's your thoughts on the Spirit Talker app, G?
Okay, I make a policy of being honest, you know, because I think that's the best way to be.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan
No.
of the Spirit Talkers, the app. Main reason why I'm not a fan is because, you know, if you put that app on and you're not even calling out or saying anything, it will still produce words or activate. It doesn't seem to be responsive to what you, as the person investigating, is saying.
Yeah.
I have seen them used on investigations before where some really interesting information has popped up, but again, I think, you know, if I married that with the amount of times that words have appeared where I've been out with people on investigations, and those words don't have any relation to what,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
the location, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, if I then compared that against the times that it's been bang on, probably, you know, it's off the mark way more times than it's bang on.
Yeah.
But it's always worth giving these things a try because, you know, and the reason why a lot of people will advocate the Spirit Talker app, and rightly so, is because, you know, it's very known in the world of supernatural that spirits' energies affect electronic equipment, right? And that's why we've got the EMF reader, the cat balls, etc. So it can equally affect things like electrical devices like your phone. One thing that I want to try in future investigations is taking like a tablet or an iPad out just on a note screen or somewhere and just see if any words just appear naturally by themselves, rather than through an app that's designed to do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders if the random responses could be, imagine, I use the analogy, imagine you're in like a big hall of people and a lot of people are just talking, there's the noise of crowd, and you can just sit there and all of a sudden a word jumps out of the crowd. You just notice one word or a few words, a sentence or two, and then all of a sudden it just goes back to the noise of being a crowd again. I wonder if there is a lot of spirits on the other side trying to communicate, whether that's something that comes through or whether that could be part of it.
We've had a couple of relevant things, haven't we? But I think the main one that done it for us was at Bob Minjao.
For me it was a different one, but Bob Minjao was an interesting one as
well. Because we was going on the tour before we actually went round to investigate, and the guy was talking about in that room where the lady was hung, drawn and quartered, and then a little while after that, when we done Spirit Talker in there, it said hung, drawn and quartered, and it's never said that before, and it's never said it since. So that was quite intriguing. You know, it could be random, but to have it say that there and then was quite strange.
We had a location where the owner, or the former owner, was the current owner's grandfather, and his nickname for her was Blue Eyes before he passed away. And that came through on our device. We didn't know that Blue Eyes was any relevance to it. In the moment, I made a joke saying it sounded like the title of one of my songs, because that was the only thing I could bring to it. But it was only when we were on our next investigation we got a text saying that was the previous owner's nickname for the person who died and was very relevant on that property. And that to me was like, how on earth does that even happen? Because we've not had it say eyes since, we've not had it give a colour, we've not had it say that exact phrase since, or before. It was just that one occurrence, and it was like strange. But I do get what you're saying, where if you weigh up the balance of how many times it's on point versus not, it definitely makes for an interesting.
Have you guys played around with like sensory stuff before? I think it was on the Monty Zone that you joined as guests, where I was sharing some of the footage. I've got a light.
Oh yeah, off in the distance there's been a couple of lights that have gone off.
It's a spotlight, it was somebody's torch. Because it had a beam.
Yeah, I can see it moving around.
Probably not coming out on camera at all because it's too far in the distance.
Hopefully they're not seeing our lights and going, does someone need help?
Yeah, I can see it from there.
That sort of thing can happen.
Spirit light.
So there was an investigation that I joined Kevin Hines at Trinity Church. So Kevin Hines is from the Black Crow Paranormal Society, and we did an investigation at Trinity Church just near Buckfast Lee. And I've got to yet upload that footage, and I'll definitely share it with you guys if you want.
Is that the one where all the roof's missing from it and that?
And then I had earphones on.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I showed you that footage, didn't I?
Yeah.
And it's easy enough to do. Obviously, blindfold yourself, get some headphones, playing music really, really loud, or just white noise, and then have somebody in the room filming it, but the other person in the room is calling out. I'd love to see you guys try that, because the experience that I had when I did that, and funny enough, I think that was a very active location, so therefore a lot of the equipment that was there was going off, and that's where the one location that I have been where the app, the Spirit Talker, was kind of coming up with a lot of activity that would make sense to what we were doing.
Yeah.
But going back to the sensory stuff, that's where I've probably had my strongest experience of anything, and I just definitely felt that something made contact with me. It was quite an upsetting experience, you know. I got emotional about it, so I'll definitely share that footage with you guys if I don't end up putting it out on YouTube.
Absolutely.
So that you can sort of see it, but I'd love to see you do that on one of your future investigations.
That'd be a terrifying one, but interesting.
Is that the church where all the roof's gone and that's just like the outside structure now? Yeah. That'd be quite, because that's on our list to go to, isn't it?
On the way here, look.
Yeah, I see it.
See the torch beam now.
Yeah. They're probably like, what's going on over there?
Sure.
Like a Dartmoor Ranger or something. Here, take this a minute. I'll go grab the other cat balls just in case it is someone and they're like, you shouldn't be up there.
Well, hopefully. I think won't cause an issue, but I didn't see any signs saying that it's like restricted to a certain time.
No.
So
I mean, at the end of the day, Dartmoor now is a lot of the rules have recently just been sort of released again in
Yeah.
terms of allowing in certain areas like overnight camping as well, and
Right.
where they become really strict on it.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope for this. Well, we ain't camping, so we're just if they're interested, we are nighttime walkers. That's all. It does look like they're searching for us. It does look like they're searching for us. They keep beaming that light.
It's just similar to us. Like they've got torches and beams, and they're making their way over here as well.
Fingers crossed. That's all it is. Right. Anyway, lock back here. Oh.
What do we have?
This is my home.
This is my
This
home.
is my home. It's not ours.
No.
So we have a new device at play. If you want to attempt to try and communicate with us, this may be a way that you can do it. If you are here, would you be able to give us a name so that we know who we're speaking to?
Looking on my night vision, looks like there's at least a couple of lights over there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, it's two, at least two.
Yeah, there's 2 people at least.
3, I can see actually, 3. I'm gonna get my big torch out in a minute.
Yeah. You say he screams. Who is it who screams? Could you give us a name?
Why don't you move that device so it lights up the little round ball? Don't see any lights anymore.
No.
No, they've gone up.
Yeah.
Where we initially came in.
Maybe you don't feel like communicating with us. If you want us to leave this space, you can tell us to leave. We'll respect it. We'll move on. But you need to tell us that first.
Sense.
Sense. Doesn't make sense.
Remember, it's a location that's very kind of thick with canine spirits.
That's true.
So, you know, even if we were like making contact, it may not make sense. But then again,
That's a possibility.
cats' balls would be ideal to get some reaction.
That's a good point, actually. If it is spirits and canines, then sort of toys that could have been around them would be quite interesting. If I'd have known this sooner, I would have bought some of the dog's toys down.
Yes.
Is that yes as to what was said? Are there spirits here that can't make sense of what we say? Yeah, those people are coming along this path.
Yeah. We're not the only weirdos out here at night exploring.
The thing is, you find on Dartmoor, like my God,
Eyes.
Eyes. Remember how earlier I said we've never had it say eyes again?
that's funny though that one of the big things here is the red eyes.
That's a good point, yeah.
You want to be looking out for the red eyes.
If I see them without torchlight shining on them, then I'll be even more concerned.
No, we don't seem to be getting anything. Do you want to maybe move some of this up to where we were before?
Yeah, can do.
Voice.
I did just hear a voice.
Did you?
Probably them people over there then.
Maybe. Are you going to use your voice? We may be able to hear you if you do.
Right.
What are you doing here? Like, yes, maybe unexplained fast. See, this is where we need badges and wallets. Isn't it? So they're like, what are you doing here? And you're just like, unexplained files. Flick. There's a lot of them. One, it's like a...
Like 4 or 5.
You've got to be careful, this says.
That's what.
Got to be careful.
Is that a watch party? Search party?
I don't know.
I'll keep my mini map in my head straight, that's what it is.
So I was watching your podcast,
Mm.
and
I've seen you before.
Said I've seen you before.
I was watching your podcast, and you were talking on there about like mediums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that you don't hold much stock in the the ability of the phenomenon. Is that like across the board, or is it just?
I would say it's very dependent on the intention. That's what strikes me. If it's, I find anyone who's offering services to those who are recently, bereaved or recently lost someone, I'm already interested in questioning what could be happening there. But as to whether I believe you could have like intuition or connection with spirits, that I can believe, and I can, like, communication and close relationships with spirits, I can believe that. But as far as, like, there are some people I'm very dubious of. I take it with a very hefty pinch of salt.
Good answer. Yeah, I definitely feel exactly the same way. I've met a lot of different people, some that do it like at no cost and just do it because they've got the ability, and they're people that I genuinely felt they have some sort of, what is that bone on there?
Bone.
It is. Oh my god.
Oh, so it is. It did say go right, but this isn't where I was planning on going, but there is a bone.
Get that on video.
That's a bit random.
Yeah. If this says bone now, I'll lose my mind. Residual, it said.
Residual.
Residual.
So explain that. Like, obviously there are things like foxes. Dartmoor is actually quite well known for wild dogs as well, so it could be something's meal that they've left behind.
Maybe.
But the bone itself looks like it's from a decent sized creature, because that ain't no bone from a rabbit. That's not a bone from, you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
a medium sized dog would give off that type of bone.
There are some like acorn shells as well, so I don't know what's going on with that around it. So meal of some creature, something's been here scurrying about by the looks of things.
Yeah, very random, because usually as well, if it's been some wild creature's previous
You are
feast,
protected.
Oh, that's good, I am.
you would see more than one boat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't
This
see
spot
one
does
boat.
give me very, if anyone was going to leave something as a, maybe not offering, but to something, this would be quite a spot to do it, because it's got that kind of circular, it's very like presentable
funny enough,
in
just
its
as we
fashion.
arrived here, I said this is a brilliant location. There's something about this tree
Yeah.
that, because it's out by itself, I think a little bit.
And with these rocks around it, it feels like there's a platform to present something.
Yeah. So maybe this is, there are again groups of people around Dartmoor that are druids, Satanists as well, that
Maybe.
could be using this as some sort of place to give offerings or do things. Who knows? But let us know what you think. It's an interesting find. Well spotted, Steve.
Oh, I just see something white there, and I was like, that looks like a
Maybe
bone.
we should try putting
Steve's
some.
probably the furthest one away.
Yeah.
Spotted
And I ain't
the
even
bone.
got my glasses on the side.
My laser vision failed. But you can- footstep.
So this is the tree that I'm talking about.
Footstep.
Should we put some devices down here and see if anything
Yeah.
comes
Right
out
next to the
So,
bone.
next to the bone?
especially if there's been previous activity of sort
I mean, from a
here with people making offerings.
from a pagan perspective, this definitely is very offering here. Makes sense.
Yeah. Check around the tree, see if there's any signs of
Let me go around.
I want to try and put my phone down, but not. I think I won't actually. No. I'm just gonna hold on to there.
another bone up here.
Is there?
Yeah.
I'll get up and have a
So
quick
my
look.
suspicions were correct. Again, this is quite a big bone.
Be fearful.
Be
Not
fearful.
small. And it looks more and more like they've been intentionally placed.
Yeah, it does. They're also in line with each other. I don't know if this is any significance of like north or south or anything like that, but I'd be intrigued to know if it was, if it goes one to the other. Because I know in some practices that can be relevant. I'm going to get my compass and have a look. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, there was one investigation that I did in North Yorkshire where we found really, really strong evidence of ritual activity going on, and that was again based around a tree, which is a popular.
So it's not on any north-south lines. Put it that way. Not according to my phone.
So it doesn't have any sort of significance.
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't guess. No.
There we go. Bone number 2.
Picked clean
Just-
as well.
Just knock that cat ball and see if that's the one that don't do anything.
I did not like standing in that middle bit there. I don't feel right. You told us to go right. We went right and we found these bones. Is this what you wanted us to find?
Did you see the moth earlier on land on Steve's collar?
Yeah.
We were in the middle of filming, so I didn't want to say anything. You had this great big moth on your collar.
What was that?
Yeah, when we were down there.
A moth landed on you.
Moth.
Really?
Yeah. Could you light up any of these devices for us?
Double dare you to light up one of these devices.
I'm glad you're the one who said that, not me.
This location holds any significance to someone, and that's you, then please communicate with us through either these devices that we've left, or try and speak to us, or make some noise. There's bones that are placed in this location. Maybe you could move one of those bones.
Just said alone. Just said alone.
Alarm?
Alone.
Alone.
Oh, alone.
I mean, it said it was with family earlier, so I don't know if there's anything else or.
Run.
What was that noise?
Run. This said run.
Oh. Thought
I'm
something
alright,
out
thanks.
there
I've not
as
got my
well.
running
What the
boots
fuck
on
was that?
today.
Right, I'm rolling at the moment, and I'll have to check back on the footage, but just as it said run, but literally about 2 seconds before it said run, I thought I saw a black shadow go behind you there, so if
It just said eyes.
there was, that's the second time it said eyes.
Hmm.
I had night vision on you, so if anything picked up on there.
Yeah, I was going to say, once I watched the footage back, it should, because how I noticed it was going across this lit up area here.
Yeah.
And then I maybe thought it was me moving that had done it, but doesn't appear so.
You've said eyes twice now. Are you watching us?
Almost.
There's another torch up there.
Almost. That responded too quick for me to think that it was responding to what I said. Almost. When I said, are you watching us? From the inconsistent ramblings of the spirit talker to the sometimes reasonable and seemingly conscious response, and finding bones beneath a tree, Wistman's Woods on Dartmoor has been an interesting place to investigate. Perhaps the darkness of the moors making it easy to lose your way, and the lights and voices that were slowly closing in on us tested our nerves. But nonetheless, despite the lack of evidence, Wistman's Wood has been an interesting investigation, an interesting location, perhaps one that we can one day return to. But it was safe to say, after all we had experienced, we were happy to bring this night to a close.
This takes up half your time trying to navigate this terrain.
She
doesn't it?
screams.
She screams. It did say screams earlier, I think.
Hello, guys.
Hiya, you alright?
How are you doing, alright?
Not too bad yourself?
Good, my mum?
Good, my mum.
Wonder if it's the army guide.
Maybe.
Alright guys, that wrapped it up for another investigation. What do you guys think?
It's an interesting spot. I don't want to say I'm disappointed because you can't expect things to happen, but I would have liked for more to happen. I've heard a lot about the space and I was very hopeful that we'd get some more, but
Yeah.
that is the way that it is sometimes. It's an interesting location. Like I said, I'd love to come see it in the day, see what it looks like, what it feels like.
Yeah, I think if anything, it's just left me with that thought that going forward with any locations that I go to, go there first during the day, understand what it looks like, and then you also can formulate better ideas of locations to go for filming. However, that being said, you know, we haven't had a lot of activity through the devices in this location tonight, but I think those finds of those bones are extremely interesting because you have to whittle down to why those bones would be there. Again, it's a hard reach saying that somebody's going to walk all the way out to a location like this and leave them there for a prank. So if it's not a prank, is it something ceremonial? If it is there people active in this area? And that alone would make it worthwhile for me to think that it's a location to come back to.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe we come back in the future, maybe not, but nonetheless we hope you enjoyed this evening's video. Thank you, G-Star, for joining us. It's been fantastic.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
We'll have to do it again.
Yeah, definitely. More in the future for sure.
Maybe we go closer
And
to
I'll
our neck
make
of the woods.
more of a journey up to you this time.
We'll go to the...
Because I wanted to get to new places, you know, new
maybe
environments.
this spot where we heard the bang and the crash from way back.
Yeah.
Oh, the gym, the old gym place. Yeah,
That'd be
definitely
cool.
love to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nonetheless, guys, hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening and peace.
Bye.